Oh, hey, Alice. How's it going there? Fancy see you here just pop in. I'm sitting here with my friends, Nick Giordano and Melody Ryan of Paranova.
Hello, hello.
Howdy.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us in your boat and also joining us on this occasion.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for having us.
Um, so do you want to tell Alice a little bit about what you guys were doing and what you got coming up?
Well, first I want to ask you about my house.
Yeah, like how did you get who let you in, first of
I
all?
think you things pretty secure here, and the fact that you just kind of showed up, you know,
It's a little weird.
it's a little weird,
Yeah.
but glad to see you nonetheless.
Besides the home invasion, though.
Yeah, I forgot what the question was.
What-
I was so worried about my preacher
Yeah. What's what have you guys been up to and what do you got coming out?
Well, we just put out a single called Noise. It's going to be the first of a series of songs that we'll be putting out, throughout the year, and Spotify, Apple Music, and all those things.
All the places. I heard that one. It's very nice.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Definitely looking forward to hearing more.
The next one is weird in a totally different way. I feel like.
Okay.
I think if I had heard noise, that I would not be expecting what we are working on.
Yeah.
The next song that we're currently recording. So it'll be interesting to hear everybody's feedback on this next.
Keeping everyone on their toes.
Yeah.
Nice. So, are you guys gonna do like Neuralink when Neuralink happens? like have AI implants?
I'm considering it. It needs a little time.
Yeah, I don't think it's something we don't need to be just like jumping in shit. You know what I mean? Like
Maybe not the first guy who gets it, but like after it's been tested a few times.
Yeah.
Some other people need to be the
Test dummies.
Yeah. I'll be like, okay,
Yeah.
down, or maybe not.
Or maybe,
We'll see.
yeah. I guess let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I don't know enough to be honest. Like,
are you going to?
I'm scared. Oh, okay.
I'm scared.
But I don't know if that means I should integrate with it or run far away from it.
I don't know either.
I heard
that's interesting that you say AI.
Yeah.
And bring that up.
Yeah.
That's what our second song has to do with.
Oh, okay.
That's very interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like you picked up on the.
Yeah. There's two conversations going on, Alice. One with there's a psychic communications and then also the lip flap communications.
Yeah.
But you already knew that because you got your third eye open. So yeah. What do you guys think happens after we die? And nobody really knows.
Man.
Something to think about though.
First, your body goes through the whole process of decay and rotting.
Yeah, it does.
Being consumed by the earth. Spiritual aspect of that, it's like nobody can know. We can never know.
Yeah.
Only the people who could never, only the people who could answer that question. I don't remember what I was saying.
They're dead.
Yeah, they're dead.
They're dead.
They did. They can't tell us what actually. Yeah, that's
that
what I
didn't
meant.
tell no.
Yeah. Like
it's
can't tell us about it.
Specific. Go ahead.
I do think though it's kind of like the water droplet in the sea type of situation where like our spirit droplet goes back into the ocean.
Yeah.
Spirit droplet. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. It's like there's a source that we all came from, and you kind of return to that source.
Basically.
Yeah.
I feel like that's essentially what goes on.
Yeah.
What do you think, Nick?
That's a good one, first of all. Secondly, I mean, kind of the same thing, not necessarily maybe back to the source, but I feel like you contribute to what's coming forward. That's you're in the ground, right? So like, or if you're ashes or whatever, I don't know. Like,
So you're in the ground, right?
so,
Then
let me let me paint a picture for you. You're fucking dead. You're in the ground. No, but what I mean is like,
These are the lyrics to your new song.
yeah. Well, it's a work in progress. No, but like
for the record, I want to be a tree pod. I want to be
Oh,
turned into.
yeah.
I do not want to be in a coffin. Please don't let anybody put me in a coffin.
You heard it here, Alice.
Yeah, you please. I want to be put in a tree pod, and then so make sure I'm getting watered regularly, and someone's taking care of me.
if I'm a tree pod, please don't treat me how I've treated other plants, please. Like show some grace to how I've with plants. No, I think that like our energy is like, we contribute to what's to what's born after us.
Yeah.
Kind of like reincarnation, I guess, but like not so like direct. Like my life, my next life is me being a bird.
That
My
I would be okay with that, being a
existence,
bird.
like my existence and like my carbon and my consciousness might like contribute to a bird.
I see what you mean. It like dissipates and goes all.
Yeah. I just feel like life kind of feeds life.
The answer is yes. It just good everything.
Yeah. I mean, we're us when we're us, but when we're dead, we're just a part of it all.
Right.
The slug eats part of your leg, and a bird eats the slug, and then
and you're just kind of scattered. You are part bird. You're part of this. Like you're part of a cheetah. You're part of a tree. You're part of coral. You're part of a mountain. You're part of your dead self in the ground. Still,
I know what I don't want to be true. Remind me to.
What is that?
Next point. I wasn't trying to.
No, that was pretty much it. That's pretty much it. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah.
I do not want the archons to be like what is actually going on, and that they're so like basically these demons. This is a belief system, and like I don't know what y'all know or don't know about it, but basically Earth, they rule over Earth, and like we're all kind of captive souls here, and like they feed off of our misery essentially. They're like sadistic demons, and then when we die we just get recycled back for them to continue using, and that's all it is. Just so you gotta get out of that shit.
Break out of it. Yeah.
That's what I don't want to happen after he died. That sounds terrible.
I think there's some kind of battle going on. There's a lot happening in the world. There always is, but there's a lot happening right now. Even though that's true of the past too. It's like I think that war comes down to good and evil is way too vague. I think it comes down to fear / control and love / freedom. To me, unless we're talking about a child, no man has the right to tell you how to live your life. Period. They don't have that authority. But
a child does have the right to tell you how to live your life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, obviously. Yeah. I mean, like, if you're like rearing a child, you're a parent. Obviously, you have to tell them how to live their life sometimes, like, because they don't know. But when it's the government or it's just any person that wants to do that to you as an adult, they're basically saying that they know better than you. That they're I don't know, somehow an authority over you. Which, I mean, no one, we have these rules in our society that say otherwise, but no one really has any authority over you until
Right.
until until they do, right? Until those are different by default. No one has.
Yeah.
Everyone is their own independent person.
Yeah, until that moment of recognition of that power.
And I think a lot of the times we give that over willingly. Like, to participate in a society is to give up certain liberties, to give up certain freedoms. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. A lot of the time it's a good compromise. But it has to be by choice. It has to be something you sign up for and choose to do. Otherwise, I think that is evil. I think control, when you try to dominate another human being's will, regardless of your intentions, it doesn't matter what it is, because it's so arrogant. It's to say you know better than someone else. That was kind of a rant, but I think
No.
I agree with that.
I agree with that.
And there's a war going on over people's will, and it has a lot to do
People
with
have
fear.
gotten too greedy.
Yeah.
And I also wonder, though, at the same time, I'm like, what do I not know? What am I not aware of that's going on that's like causing all this? Because like I feel like everyone's acting crazy, like everyone's lost their minds. And it's like I feel like most people just want to like hang out and be happy and like exist and like we all love each other and care about each other, and like, but for some reason, like out there it's just like everybody attacking everybody else, and like it's just like, I don't know, there's a lack of respect, and that like we've lost our humanity, I kind of feel like, and everybody's just gotten like all riled up, and it's like, dude. Like, but also like what's going on that's causing all of, I think that humanity reached our peak, and like nature is it's finally like forcing it to go back down with like, natural disasters, and like fucking dragons are gonna be coming out of the sky, and alien attacks and
I don't know. I think we just have a societal shift that we underestimated as a people, as a species. Like we knew, I mean, there was only in the 90s there was only like a small group of people who understood the implications of the internet. And now like
the internet is what's
and those few people control everything now, because they have the foresight to see it.
Exactly. So like if that was more, if there was more common knowledge, we might have been able to kind of understand like what direction we were kind of heading in, how general respect and like how we communicate as a people is gonna change in a huge way. You kind of have to like realize like, hey, if someone's texting you, there's no tone here. This is ones and zeros.
Yeah.
So when you're speaking in a text, you should learn to read this as this isn't passive aggressive. This isn't, or you know what I mean? Like just things like that. I feel like we could have been a lot less at risk for these like headbutt moments and like even things like racism, transphobism. Is that right? Phobism? Transphobic.
I think so.
Being transphobic, like misogyny and all these these things that people deal with on a day-to-day basis wouldn't even be near an issue that they are now.
I think
people would be more educated. It would be the actual implications of the internet would be thoroughly understood. So it's like, wow, like you can really learn people's histories and like where people really came from, and like that would leave such a great venue for communication, forgiveness, like just all these things. I feel like they're just like necessary, but now we're in this environment where it's just so uncomfortable to have these certain conversations to like because people don't like what they don't understand, you know. So it's it's just just an unfortunate, you know.
We've lost our
Unpreparedness.
ability to communicate as well. Just like in person, there's so much like communication that just takes place between. It's like infinite jest. I don't know if that book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still reading that book. Been reading it for like 5 years.
Is it a long book?
Maybe longer. It's very long, but yeah, it's kind of like that. Like people get real like engrossed in screens, basically, and like their image through that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I don't know because I still haven't read like enough to know. I still keep questioning, like, okay, do I know what's going on in this book, or like, am I still figuring it out? I don't know. We'll see. I'll update y'all. 5 more years.
Next time,
now.
Alice. 5 years from now, we'll do another.
5 years from now, check in on me, hold me accountable. I will have finished this book by then,
or at least be closer to the end.
Not true.
I will absolutely.
Yeah, I have a lot of empathy for like what happens in the world. My life is pretty good.
Yeah,
I've got it pretty good. Things that I don't like, there's issues, but like I'm content with what I have, and it's like it could be a lot worse,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, but when I look around at some of the people that are like less fortunate than me, they're like, it really hurts.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sad world we live in sometimes.
It's very
and when
sad.
I turn on the news and make that a global thing and like take all that in, I feel that. Like I feel that I don't say that to like I have so much empathy because I think everyone experiences what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it can get overwhelming, and
especially when
it's
you don't
something.
see like
I think we weren't prepared to take in so much information all the time and like to be able to process the emotions of like knowing all of this stuff that's going on everywhere around the world with everybody. It's so much. It's so overwhelming. I mean, that's obviously having an impact on people's like mental health, I feel like.
And for me, it's like I can't be like a passerby in it, so I try to like, and I am just by existing sometimes, and that sucks. Is being a part of problems that just like are so much bigger. Like I could, if I was less lazy, I could do more for the environment, just in small day-to-day things. And that when I think about that, it bugs me. But like, I guess where was he going with that? But like I try to do what I can, and I guess I fall short of that a lot. But
I have a comment to say about that.
Yeah.
I think that the individual has been given too much like guilt and like feeling like a need to be responsible for these things when it's the tiniest impact for us when like the corporations know we rely on it and like they've made it this situation.
Right.
They can change it. Like they're just greedy. Like it's all about the greed and the power. And they could ease it, like all these problems, like when they knew they were going on, they lie about it. They like fake research, like they do all sorts of crazy, they bribe people, like just to stay in power and like keep that control and like to keep destroying everything. And they know it's destroying everything. Sorry, I'm getting all mad about this.
No, I'm mad too.
But like, it's just like, and then like, there are all these, like, we are trying, we have made efforts, but like, it's not us that, like, they've created this situation. They could easily change it, but it's all about them wanting to, keep the money and the power and, whatever and that's evil. That's what's evil. Like, that's true evil. And it sucks that we have to share the world with that because, like, it sucks. Like they ruined it for everybody.
And where I was kind of headed with that is like I'm trying to do what I can to help. Like I can't just sit passively by, and with how like the world is, not like a superhero vigilante, but like in its own small way, I think this kind of thing helps. I think this kind of thing is rare. I think some people can.
What kind of thing?
What we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Not even
This.
not even on camera, but like just this kind of communication in general, I think can be rare sometimes for people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if you know, if this what we're doing can help people, like even in a small way, like I think that's important.
Yeah, because we're on like the things that we say are just like literally like one like molecule of an opinion versus everyone else's, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like go and talk to people. And,
Yes.
like,
Yeah, get other
like-
people's ideas about things. Absolutely.
and don't have to like a lot of what you hear, and in fact, you shouldn't. But that you should equally. That's that you know you should equally listen to it.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
and just
How
take
do
it
you
for
know?
what
At
it
least
is.
like be aware of it and understand it and know.
Yep. If you haven't heard it, how do you know you
Yeah,
disagree?
and also to add to that, you know, you got to think about where people like how they land there too. Like you
True.
got, it's not just hearing the opinion; you have to understand the opinion.
It's like
You know,
a lot of like radical people in the world were born not like born into something really radical. Like this is kind of a minor example compared to some of the big things, but I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness.
Mhm.
I was also homeschooled, so like all my influence was in the church that I grew up in. So when I moved out, like I didn't know anything. I moved out at 18 and just had to figure it out. But you know, like that's pretty tame compared to what some people are, some like religious cults that people are born into, for example. It's not their fault that they have those beliefs. It's like it actually is the belief system itself. It's whether like radical religions or radical political ideals, like
Yeah.
deep in the South, like deep country shit. Like I'm sure they have some really bad ideas, like in some areas, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like,
but they're
all over
only
the
going
world.
off. They're only going off what they think they know.
Yeah, and
You
it's
know,
they.
like,
I think
As
As
of
are,
what
as
they
are
do
we all.
know.
Yeah, or what they do
Yeah.
know. You know.
I think evil 99% of the time comes out of ignorance. It's people trying to do something good. Like, and this kind of comes back to what I was trying to say earlier. Is like, um, I like because I've been thinking about these things so much, like trying to think about ways to help. And it's like some of the ideas I've been having, thoughts I've been having, have been really radical. And it's like I just don't see another way to fix things.
Yeah.
To say
Other than
exactly.
like you mean like starting a revolution or like causing like
If for example,
Or
a
these things of that effect.
yeah, if for example one of these figureheads like the president or a prime minister or somewhere just disappeared or something happened to them.
In a fictional world.
Yeah.
Where,
Thank you. Yeah. In Wonderland,
Yes.
in Wonderland, if the Mad Queen suddenly her head got chopped off,
Yeah.
would that really fucking fix anything? Right? And it's kind of like that's
because in the Mad
the system is still the mad system.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of where I've been at that place where it's like, okay, if we take out people that we take out the Mad Queen and the cards that run Wonderland, it's like things will that's the only way I see to fix things. But that's mistaken.
that
doesn't
leaves a
fix
hole
anything.
for another one to fill.
Yeah. And that's
It's like with wildlife, people trying to get rid of like nuisance animals and they like trap them and move them and then like another one just comes in there. It's like you just create a vacuum for the same kind of there's always going to be a person ready to jump in or like other people that are going to infiltrate it and like I don't know.
I've kind of
You know
feel
what I
like it's
mean?
just the same way about systems though. Like if you zoom out a little bit, like if you take out the mad system, but then you get the fucking insane system to replace it.
Yeah.
Because what system out there really helps everybody? You just
Right.
kind of run into a different
I
size
think,
of the problem. You know?
I think it's gotta be well, you know, let me come back to that a second and just backpedal just a little bit.
Okay.
I've come full circle on this where it's like I don't think that's the best thing to do. You can't really solve violent issues in the world with violence, or solve hateful issues with hate and fear. I don't mean to get too preachy, but it's like what I'm finally coming to the conclusion of is like the only way to fix the world is just like look at yourself in the mirror and say like you deserve love, you are loved, and then do that to everyone around you. And it's like
Spread the love.
So like you guys all deserve love and you're loved, and that kind of thing will save the future.
Aw,
That's the only kind of thing that will.
I know you were
You
like
deserve love.
just saying that to
Thanks, bro.
say it, but I still felt like
Yeah. But yeah, that's the kind of that's all we can do, realistically.
Yeah.
It's like The Art of War. Have you read that? I feel
I
like
haven't.
you should. You would like it. A lot of it has to do with like, don't fight violence with, don't put effort into it, like be peaceful and be like do less, like don't come at it with all this force and like ready to like, and I guess like I'm also speaking, I don't know, in Taoism, that's what it is. It's like just be, at harmony with everything and like, spread love. And that's the best answer to anything, really. Just like be peaceful,
Yeah, and whether it's figurative or literal,
And whether it's internally and externally.
Yeah.
As far as being peaceful. Yeah.
and like
balance.
It's that's like
It's all about balance.
Yeah.
Everything.
To speak metaphorically, if you match evil with evil, all you do is go to hell.
Right.
They dragged you to hell.
Yeah.
It's like if you show kindness to someone who specifically doesn't deserve it, it's like someone who's wronged you. It's like you can kind of lift them up out of whatever it is they're in. A simple act of kindness, a smile to a stranger, like just in your day-to-day life, you really don't know like how that can help someone, and it really can. And it's like it's that kind of stuff. It's just fix the world around you and spread that outwards.
That's how I try to approach most situations where, like, if somebody is frustrating me or like doing something wacky where I'm just like, I always try to realize like I don't know like what they're coming from or like what just happened on their drive here or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you just never know what is happening to people behind the scenes. So like there's no, don't get offended and angry if somebody cuts you off in traffic or like does something on the road that you're like,
There's people dying for that. And people are shooting each other.
Yeah, that's
now. This is
so
like,
scary.
Come on, man. Yeah, like
someone pulled a gun on my friend at McDonald's just because he like didn't see him or something. Like there was some, or like somebody cut off somebody on accident. And it's just like there's no.
It's needless.
It's a scary world, and it's good to have good friends. Like make it less scary. Like it's like I think about this shit a lot, to be honest with you. So like getting other people's opinions on it, like hearing it, like helps me with my sanity. Like helps me like okay, I'm not alone in this. Like these aren't just my anxieties that I'm having. But like you were saying earlier, it's all balance. Like you should be aware of this. Did you say it? My bad.
He said it first.
But like you have to have balance in the sense of like be aware of these issues, but like don't let them consume you. It's like I kind of derailed it, but we were talking about like if you replace the mad system with an insane system, you didn't fix anything. So it's like, that's a big issue. If you're gonna tear something down, you have to have something better to replace it with before you tear the thing down. You can't figure that out afterwards. We've seen that through history where it's like republics get overthrown, and it's like here comes a new republic.
Never think things through before we do them. That's like this is the result of that.
Yeah. I think we should have a small, kind of like how the states are supposed to be, where it's like a congregation of different tribes that have different ideas, but maybe even on like a smaller scale. like cities. So it's like instead of state laws, you have like city laws.
Mhm.
And it's like if you don't like your city, there's other cities you can go to.
Yeah.
And it's like
I've thought about that before. And like also there's an aspect to like civilization where like once I forgot what the number is, once there's a certain number of people that's reached, like that's when things go bad. Because
Yeah, and
like
there's also the whole
that's
like, if you don't
when
like it, don't
everybody
be
doesn't
here
know everybody
kind of
and
thing.
like
So
Yeah.
people start
That's
doing
not really an
shady
answer.
things.
yeah, like
it's complicated for sure.
not to purposely use a southern accent, but like if you don't like it, get out.
Yeah.
You go on, yeah. Sorry, it's all I know.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, I think one thing that would help with the current system, because I feel like there's parts of our system that are definitely reparable, right? So like instead of 2 4-year terms possible for a president, I feel like there should be 1 6-year term for a president.
I would go the other way. It's like 1 week term. It's like get what you can done in a week. And if you know what, if you're good, we'll reelect you for another week.
I don't
And
think
you
there
get
should
paid
be-
minimum wage. And if you're not good with that, well then I guess you really didn't fucking want the job. I guess you just wanted money. And it's like, no, if you want this job, you're gonna get paid what the minimum wage is in that state. And it's like the term limits are like a week or a month.
Now,
And
see, like I don't want the possibility of re-election to even be a thing, because that's where money comes in anyway.
But
But
what
what
if
if
you get
someone's doing a really good job and like everybody likes them and
Then
like
you better
everything's
hope
going
that
great?
the person that comes after them has the same ideals in line with them.
But conversely,
It really puts power into the voters.
See,
It's like,
this is
if
why
you-
we go over ideas
Yeah.
before we overthrow
yeah.
the government. 'Cause
I'm not saying to
Right.
overthrow the government. I'm saying
I mean,
change it.
sorry, before whatever.
Overthrow the Mad Queen.
Yeah.
Wonderland. It's an RPG
And
we're talking
obviously-
about.
And obviously,
In
like
the video,
senators,
in the
Video game
fake
universe.
world of
Yeah.
the
right, right.
fantasy.
It's part of our D&D campaign.
Oh no, this is my current suggestion for our shit. Like fuck Mac.
Okay. Yeah.
No. I would think that like I feel like this is something that should be explored. Like if you had 1 6-year term, that's long enough for it to make a difference. You don't have like, running on these re-election terms just for him to just switch it up whenever, he or she they get in office. I think that would definitely put that'd be a little bit more checked and a little bit more balanced. Which I think is something that we've lost these days. Like they need to start having term limits for fucking like Supreme Court justices, senators, and congressmen. But that should be a thing.
I hear what you're saying, and
And
I guess my
agents.
concern is running into the same issue of like, what if someone bad gets in the office for 6 years? It's like we elect the wrong person in there for 6 years
You
now.
can still impeach them.
You can still impeach. I mean, there's always
Well, I
bad
mean,
people.
how
You can't-
how easy has that been to do in the past, right?
Well, I mean, we're talking about ways forward, so
Okay,
I mean,
fair
just
enough. It's
do it
like
better.
so-
Be better about it.
Actually-
if you're
actually,
fucking up,
yeah.
get them out.
Because another part of moving forward is kind
Just
of
bring in a
is-
chair, like a royal chair, and everybody just like sweeps them up and just carries them away and like tosses them over the fence.
Off with your chair. I mean, I feel like part of moving forward too is also kind of like this might sound a little naive, but like you kind of have to have like a clean slate mentality about it. Like, don't worry about someone shitty being in office until there's someone shitty in office. Like, because if you set up like that's horrible. No, fuck all that. Never mind. Never mind. No, that was stupid. I regret it the moment I heard it out loud.
So
But
yeah,
like, forgot where I was going. with
you're good.
this.
I was unfortunately, and I don't mean to dissuade anyone if you disagree with me. And in fact, if you do disagree with me, let me know because I'm not exactly happy with having this mindset. But where I happen to be at is I don't believe in our system. I don't believe. I'm not saying we've had rigged elections. What I am saying is we get 2 choices: shit sandwich A or shit sandwich B.
Right.
I've never like
Well, I feel like a lot of
believed in
that.
our system.
A lot
I
of
don't think
that.
it
I mean, you
makes
could
any kind of
just
sense.
vote third party.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't
like-
think
that doesn't really work out.
I don't think our votes. They're not ever going to give up. The powers that be are never going to give up the power strangle they have over everything. And it's not the puppets that they show us, their figureheads that they give us. It's people pulling the strings behind them.
Of course.
The bankers, the Fortune 500 companies, the pharmaceutical industry. These are the people that run the world, and they do it behind these people, these puppets that they put there. So I think people with good intentions have gotten into positions of office, but I think as soon as you get there, they make it very clear to you that you're not going to make any real change.
Yeah.
It's like, here is what you're going to do. Here's what you're going to say. And if you do any difference, then you're fucked. You're in now. You're in with us.
I want to put an idea in the idea pot for like future how it should work. So everybody who wants to nominates like the best person they know, like the most honest, the best leader, like everyone has to write up like what these qualities are and like why this person would be a good leader. There's going to be an interview process for like the top however many people who are voted up in there or whatever. And of course they have to want to be in this. They don't have to if they don't want to. Those people go on and go through an interview process. The public watches the interviews and like gets to know the people or whatever. We learn about, or like we start creating communities based on, what will sustain everybody and whatnot, and separate into communities like you were talking about. And then each little community will have the leader, and like the people with that skill or whatever will go like do this job and like work in the gardens and like tend the fields and make the baskets.
Yeah.
And like, or like go to the creek and get, you know what I mean?
Everyone will do things on their own, kind of.
We're gonna go back to tribes.
Like, what are you talking about?
I'm
just
but
gonna
like modernize that somehow. And
So,
then
like,
we'll have
if you-
leaders
so-
in place that everybody chose because of their good qualities.
So you want all the accountants to live in one city?
No,
Like Hunger Games.
that's not what I want. That's not what I meant.
You're saying like one in each, like each civilization
I mean,
is self-sustaining. They can run shit on their own.
I didn't think it through. I didn't think all of this through.
These are tough questions, and we are not.
They are tough questions.
We are not people. I mean,
Well,
I hit stuff.
We'll get there.
That's
And
just
she yells.
the base.
Like,
Hey, and you know what?
idea.
That's very important. That's a very important thing that you guys do. And it
well,
helps
not
people.
to be reductive towards it.
Yeah.
It's when it comes to
It saves
Wait,
lives.
what'd
building
you
governments. I was saying like I hit stuff and you yell. So,
Oh,
And
was
that's
I yelling?
no.
Okay.
with music.
Oh,
I
because
have heard you
sometimes I
yell.
start like yelling when I'm just having a conversation.
No. We were talking about on stage.
Okay.
Yeah, no, like, we are definitely like to be like throwing out
Hey.
real idea.
I disagree.
I'm not.
I think I could
At least got right now.
contribute some ideas to a fun society.
So
maybe not a fully functioning one.
switching it up a bit. Do you guys think extraterrestrials have ever visited or interacted with Earth?
Absolutely.
I think they've been here
Oh yeah.
for
Absolutely.
a very long time.
They're here, man.
What
But also, I question lately, like, if extraterrestrials are just future humans that have evolved and developed and whatever, maybe AI,
Okay.
and like that's why there's no reproductive organs or whatever, like in the pictures, and they look like humans with weird features. There's something interesting I've got to bring up that I read about that I thought was like, in like abduction stories, people always talk about how like the aliens don't talk or anything. They just like suddenly are in your mind, like telling you the information.
Yeah.
There was somebody that was explaining like it's because they have these like some sort of like sensory organs in their eyes that like have some. That's what makes them telepathic or whatever. I can't remember what the thing was. Like it.
They can probably like literally see like our like synapses firing.
Yeah, it was like some.
They read our brain patterns, or do they like listen to our
What was it?
dumb
I
throats?
it's something that I should have researched.
Primitive throats.
Primitive throats.
Huh?
What's the name of it? Is that what you're looking
There wasn't a name of it. It was like it was on Reddit. It was something I read on. But it was an interesting concept, like saying like they don't communicate using speech or
Yeah,
anything.
I've heard that
Like
before.
their eyes are what they use as like some sort of way that they like use wavelengths or something to just like send kind of sounds into your head.
Oh, so like line of sight. That'd be interesting.
It would make sense that they're like so far away that they're like in our future. So like but they like so they're like whereas we think they're far away, but now like aliens aren't living in like our 2022, right? Like they're like light years above away. So like they're probably more closer to like the beginning of the universe. Like we're
the beginning.
well, yeah, they're older, right? Because light is just now getting to us, right? So they probably had like way like trillions of years of development and where they can even like time travel or like
And at that point, it
or
wouldn't
at
matter
least
when they were. It could have been in their vastly in their future and then traveled back at that point.
Yeah,
that's what I've
like
been thinking is like
they're just so far
traveling back to kind of like observe.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Have you guys heard about this idea about an AI that's so advanced that basically it's a computer that's so advanced that it's retroactively having people create it before, like putting the thought in people's minds in the past so that they will eventually.
Whoa.
And so me talking about it is like helping it along.
Yeah.
Like propagating that, which so maybe I shouldn't. But there's a name for this. Can you look this up?
Pull that shit up, Jamie.
Pull that shit up, Jamie. He hates that. He hates that. Don't call him Jamie. But Jamie's got this.
Pull that shit up, Philip.
And like creating something, like you also create its death type of thing. But like also that's a concept I've seen brought up a lot lately that I had never thought of.
Idea with this duality, like by creating something, you created its end. Like
and kind of like like the end is the beginning, or like the beginning. I forgot.
The beginning is the end of it not existing.
No. What'd you say a second ago? What'd you say a second ago? Sorry, what'd you say?
About
Do you know what's happening?
Oh, the AI. The AI.
Oh, yeah. So like things in the future
manifesting themselves retroactively.
They actually have something to do with the past and like creating itself in the future.
Like each moment in time is a full circle.
Yeah, like the moment something is
everything.
created, or I don't know. Have you seen Dark? That seems like another show that you would watch.
I'm gonna write that down because I forget things.
That was the concept of it, like in creating something like that.
They're making a sequel called Wicked Dak.
Wicked Dak.
Wicked Dak.
So you kind of touched on this already, but like there's my next question was like interdimensional aliens. Like whether you call them
like aliens have to be interdimensional, right? Like
I guess maybe to clarify a little bit better, what I mean is like spirits, ghosts, spirits, fairies, demons, jinn, ghosts, whatever, what angels, what have you.
It's like on the OA, which is a show.
I love that fucking show.
Yes,
bro.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
I've seen it. Yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
that show's the
It's
best.
been years. I need to watch it again.
Everyone needs to watch it. It's
Have you seen
so
this film?
beautiful
Yeah.
and so different. So like it's stirring.
Yeah,
Like it's
I like the dance.
yeah, I do too.
That's a cool concept.
But yeah, like the layer, like everything is sitting on top of everything else. Like it's all right here, but it's separated
yeah,
by something, like by you know.
yeah,
And sometimes things peek through it. Like I think that's you know aliens, like Bigfoot sightings, like any kind of humanoid encounters or like whatever it, and like they have been concentrated in certain areas, so it's like there's a like a portal right there or something that everything's like traveling through, but they all exist there, but just at different times, and sometimes it seeps through or something.
at certain times it's more prevalent. At certain places, more prevalent. Certain people.
But that's
see
why,
more.
like, yeah, people like see
Yeah.
weird stuff a lot in just
And some people
specific
don't.
areas.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have any good ghost stories or anything you can't really rationalize?
Before we go, did you look up what he told you?
I
Oh,
couldn't
yeah.
find that. I don't have. It's not a lot of information. to go
I'll
on.
briefly look.
I
for it
typed
while
in
you guys
AI
look
that
up
makes you
stories.
create it. Not to get anything off of
What
that.
else?
Yeah, that's a weird like Google search to
Like,
come
how
up
do you-
with.
Yeah, I have not much to go on.
I personally don't have any ghost stories.
That's a good answer too.
You know, for yeah, as much as I have like wanted something spooky to happen to me, like my whole life I've been open to it. Like I'm open and ready
That's
for
funny.
it. But nothing's ever happened
Basilisk
to
is
me.
what it's called. If you want to look,
Basilisk?
yeah, if you want to look into it more, Basilisk is the name of an AI that will create a singularity, like in reverse, creating itself. It's some sci-fi writer came up with this idea, but now people have kind of run with it as like a theory. I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I was raised really religiously, and when I left, I was pretty staunchly atheist.
Yeah.
Because the religion just, I wasn't happy with organized religion, and I'm still not. But
Then you learn that distinction,
yeah,
right?
I
between like organized religion and like spirituality.
yeah, because when I was like
Yeah.
18, 19, I was like, okay, there's nothing out there. It's all bullshit. So I'm gonna fuck around and find out. Let's just try it. So I got really into like Aleister Crowley and Thelema and Chaos Magic, like Phil Hines.
Did you conjure a demon?
I've talked to many spirits,
Cool.
but I never experienced anything until I went looking for it. And I think I think chaos magic is still where a lot of my philosophy leans, and basically, to boil it down, uh, it's about practicality. So it's like, um, it it says let's put theory aside and let's just explore what is possible. So it's like let's not worry about what you're doing exactly or how it happens. Let's just focus on what's possible. So it's like okay, so if we're not answering the question of whether this is in your head or whether this is an external entity, if we're just putting that question aside, what can we do? And it's like, well, whether what you're interacting with is in your head or it's some external entity, um, is almost irrelevant when it comes to these kind of interactions. I've never seen poltergeist activity. I've never seen something levitate. Um, every time I've interacted with spirit, it's been like kind of like channeling, whether that's physically, like bodily possession, or like receiving ideas, like that kind of channeling.
That's neat.
Yeah, no peer pressure, but I could show you guys sometime. I've had a lot of good experiences with it. I've only had a couple of negative experiences. I probably Oh, that's where I was kind of where this tangent was going is I think it's important though, like chaos magic puts it kind of in two groups of thought. There's left hand path and right hand path. So right hand path would be like I have a patron and I draw from a source. It's like, well, that's my God, something external that I tap into. Whereas like left-hand path is my power comes from within, and I can just push this outwards. It teaches you that both paths are correct. Both can get you to the same result. Doesn't really matter what you believe as long as you believe. Faith itself is power. That's what it comes down to. So I've kind of just put the question of internal or external to the side, because I don't think these things can interact with the physical world. Every time I've interacted with one, they've been ecstatic to be communicating with you, because they're using, well, in the case of like channeling, like they're using your body, which they can't usually interact with things. So it's exciting.
Yeah.
If they can move things on their own, I don't understand why they would need anything from you or want anything from you. Right? So that's just where I'm at. You know, everyone's gonna have their own ideas about it, but I
Where do
think
you think, like, before they're able to come into you or whatever, where do you think they're existing? Or like,
so I that's actually so ultimately so you can tap into these things with spirit work, like a Ouija board or just direct access, pendulums, different kinds of oracular tools. But you can also easily access these things with psychedelics. We just take DMT or ayahuasca or iboga or mescaline or LSD, mushrooms even, and like get, depending on your dose, get like a certain degree of communication. And it's like a lot of magic ritual going back thousands of years will tell you psychedelics are doors to open these things up. So if you're doing work with spirits just normally, psychedelics are going to help. They're going to amplify that. But to answer your question, I think
Where do the spirits?
where does it come from?
oh yeah,
I think when we're talking about spirits, it's something that is within your deep subconscious and also somewhere else. So when you make this connection with something, it's a handshake.
Yeah.
It's the part of that thing within your mind, and also you're both collaborating on this effort. So every time I've interacted with a spirit, it can be kind of draining to keep that communication open, because it takes an effort to establish that connection. So I don't think these things can linger. I don't think you can have, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I have no idea, but I don't think these things can like stick around and like possess you against your will, because it takes a conscious effort on my part to keep that connection there. I've had a couple of scary experiences with it, but mostly positive. I've kind of hit a wall where like now it seems like when I use a Ouija board, it's like it'll move a lot to like random letters. I won't get a lot of clear answers.
that happened to me the other day.
Really?
A group of us used one, and like I went in expecting it not to move, and I think everybody else kind of was also, but we were also really into it. Like we were all taking it seriously, and like it was moving, and like I trust everybody that was there, and like you could tell too that like all of our hands were like very lightly on it. So like, but it, like an energy like came into it and was shifting it, and I was like, oh my God, like, because I wasn't expecting it to do that.
The first time I had
but it
the same
wasn't making any kind of sense. I was like, we were like, what are you saying? Like, I don't know. But it also kept just like going off the board. Like we would ask it something and it would seem like it was going to no, and then it would go and like just go off the board.
Fuck off.
And after a minute, we were like, dude, let's stop. Like, we don't think this guy like whoever this is wants to, like, I don't know. They weren't like cooperating, whoever they were.
What shape was the board? Was it rectangular? Okay. And then the planchette was kind of like a wishbone shape. It's like kind of a triangle, but not quite.
Yeah.
Like a triangle with rounded ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
There's different kinds. I was just wondering. Like that's an evoking board. basically the difference would be between that and an invoking board would be like the geometry is specific, so it's like um, the wishbone shape's angular, so it's like confined to the planchet. So this, my belief, take everything I say with a grain of salt, obviously. Do your own research. I feel like that should just
You're not
be
like
obvious.
a professional.
Talk to
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Yeah. Who the fuck am I? Like you said, we're not the people to answer any
We
of
are
the
not the
world's
arbiters.
hard
of,
questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hard
Take
truths.
none of what we have said seriously.
But
Please.
but I think it's like
Especially me.
shit. Oh, with the shapes.
Yeah, the difference.
It's like when you're have your hands on the planchet, it's like it is actually your hand moving the thing because the thing doesn't have any ability to move that on its own, but it's working through you. It's moving your hand. The thing is, when you do it with an evoking board like that, it's confined. The connection is confined to the planchet because it's angular.
So it's like directing it.
Yeah, it can't leave that planchet. It's stuck there.
Yeah,
So,
we had to make sure afterwards to like say goodbye and like make sure that, because we were like, we read about it to make sure we were doing it right. None of us, we were like, let's make sure we're following the rules when we're doing this.
if you want to, next time we hang out, I can bring my invoking board and show you it's circle, and the planchet's a circle too.
That's cool sounding. I don't think I've seen one like that.
I wish I had a picture. Can you pull one up? An invoking board? But all the letters are all in a dial shape like this, like a rotary phone.
Yeah.
And then the planchet actually has letters on it too, which is cool. It's just like a mini version of the board. And the difference being like if we did this podcast through the screen door or like over Zoom, where it's like I'm not in your house, so it's like if it was a stranger, it's a different context if they're in your house with you versus a communication from a distance. So it's like with this, it's combined with an evoking board. It's confined to that communication. But it's like with an invoking board, it's a circle. So what that means is it's wide open. It's within the people that are in that circle.
Oh shit!
So it can to your own
it's a little
kind
more
of
serious.
Yeah.
Than the
Yeah. It's with that kind of thing, I don't, like I was saying, I don't get it so much. It'll go to random letters, although I have had a lot of direct communication in the past where they're going to letters and speaking that way. But what I've experienced the most with an invoking board is bodily, like channeling, doing more than just moving a planchet, but like working my hands. Usually it's like it's physical therapy, like it's trying to learn how to work a muscle. So it'll like rotate your shoulder or like move your hand open and closed kind of thing.
I'm picturing Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Damn. And my favorite is the guy with the napkin, or like when they have the napkins and they're just like flicking it at themselves, but looking like horrified.
Oh my god, have you guys seen Being John Malkovich?
I know
a long time ago. I don't remember anything about it.
I just watched it the other night. It blew my fucking mind.
Yeah.
It's the best movie ever made. It's amazing. John Malkovich, the actor, there's a door you can open and go be like you go into his mind. And this poor guy, like people just keep going in and like fucking up his life. So yeah, people just keep coming in and possessing him basically.
You do that.
It's such a mind fuck, guys.
No, it's a movie.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, well, he probably loved it. They say his name so many times.
That's true. Don't get my likeness.
Yeah,
for sure.
But
I've seen parts of it.
It's so funny. I highly recommend it.
It's good.
It's really, if you like trippy meta movies, that's the one. That's the fucking one. But
it's been long enough where like if I watched it now, it would feel like a new movie.
Yeah.
Like it would be a new, like watching a new movie. So I'll have to remember that.
Why were we talking about that? Oh, I
don't remember.
We were talking about spirits.
Okay.
Yeah, and so like just receiving thoughts, usually either moving your hands or like receiving thoughts rather than communicating through the board. I've had a lot more success with that kind of thing. We're just direct, like we've done a lot of spirit work. Me and Philip's here, by the way, Alex. He's off camera. That's who we keep. That's who we keep yelling at. Yeah, you're right. It's not Philip. It's Jamie.
Are you in
It
the
is
shot?
not.
Are you in?
Oh, my bad.
Have you?
Oh,
This
in the
whole
shot.
time.
No.
Nah.
Nah.
What do you guys think is gonna end the world ultimately? Or do you think we're gonna progress and go out into the stars?
I mean, I think it's just gonna keep going through weird cycles.
Oh, I'm sorry. What do you think is gonna end humanity? Or do you think,
Humanity.
or do you think people will continue out beyond Earth?
I think we'll make our way out there a little bit. I don't know if we'll
very
succeed in the long run with it.
The elite,
Maybe,
like Snowpiercer.
maybe, or
I might go into the depths of the earth. I might become a cave
Mm.
person and like dwell in the earth.
Like the Falmer.
Yeah, and then I'll emerge.
Nice.
And then
Like a
everybody
phoenix.
else will
like mole people.
just kind
You
of
were talking about getting reincarnated as a bird. How that wouldn't be so bad.
Huh?
You
Yeah, being a bird
Yeah.
would be cool.
What would you get reincarnated as?
Golden retriever.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude, you got golden retriever energy, bro. I don't mean that in a bad way.
Yeah.
Golden retriever is the best.
I always get told that, so I'm like,
That's actually the highest compliment. Yeah.
I love it, dude.
It's a good.
Look,
It's a good.
I just try to
good
be a good boy.
Yeah.
I'm loyal. Sometimes I pee on the rug, but like
Not all the
I
time.
try my best.
That's
But
good.
I might bring you a dead bird as a present. You might not want a dead bird, but
But it's the thought that counts.
Yeah, I really wanted you to be happy.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I'm just trying.
No, I decided though officially that if I were reincarnated as an animal, that I want to be a black vulture. And there are reasons for that, and it's because, like, I wouldn't want to be a prey animal because that's horrifying, or And then I wouldn't want to be a predator, and my whole life depends on like murdering other animals
That's
and like
horrible, too.
hunting them, and like so vultures, and they can fly, and flying is cool, and that seems like it would be really fun.
Yeah.
And that would feel amazing to fly.
I love vultures too. They just don't give a fuck.
But yeah, so they don't have to hunt. They just find, what's died and is there, and they eat the carcass.
Yeah.
Dude, when I'm driving my car and there's vultures on the road, they just wait till like the last minute before they get out.
Yeah, they know the drill. They're like, all right, all right, cool.
Right back on it.
Cool. And they're very family oriented. Like they've got their big group of family and buddies.
What is a group of vultures called? Like
a moida.
It's called a family. A family of vultures.
Wait.
Nice.
Like a murder of crow.
Let's look that.
Philip,
pull this shit up.
Look at it. But yeah, so that all sounds great to me.
Yeah.
Committee.
Right?
A
committee.
Committee.
That's nice.
I like that.
Committee.
Yeah.
I like that. That's nice.
All right, committee meeting tomorrow. They do that too. They meet at the end of the day at their roost together.
Maybe that's
talk about how their day was.
So what do you guys think there's a missing link, or do you think people evolved the way we are just through evolution? Or do you think like there's like the stone ape theory where like apes took mushrooms and developed sentience that way? Or aliens.
Believe that. There's two I go back and forth between, and that's one I believe that psychedelics had something to do with like opening some like neural pathways that helped like spark consciousness and everything else. And then there's the one where it's like, okay, but also, or we're some like creation of like an alien experiment where they like bred with apes, like however long ago, or like or yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things it could be.
That's I'm not asking you guys any easy questions. These are all
No,
deep
you're not.
questions, like deep questions people
it's
wondering
good.
for thousands of years. Yeah.
That's what's so interesting about it. It's like we wonder and we wonder.
I definitely think there's a huge, significant chunk of like our past and like lost knowledge
Yeah.
that would explain that.
Yeah, probably. The Library of Alexandria getting burned is
like holy shit. Dude.
It took them like 6 months. I heard it took them 6 months of people taking stuff out of the library and throwing it into a fire day and night.
Yeah.
For them to burn everything that was in place. It took them 6 months of constantly hauling shit.
Like,
So,
dude.
Yeah.
And especially for how like small, like quote for listeners, like the world was then, you know.
Yeah.
And, like, man, like imagine, you know.
It was like such a privilege to go to the Library of Alexandria. Like people were going all over the world to study there. It was like, and that's just like you said, like so much. Not just that, but so much lost knowledge over time.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and not even
We don't know what happened.
Yeah,
what
not even from where
happened?
we came from, but like what did we do when we first kind of started coming
It's so
up?
bad now that like you know, I was raised with the Bible and we read the Bible growing up, but I didn't really develop an appreciation for it until I was an adult, like until I left. And it's like now I have a really deep respect for religious text because it's like the rabbis that wrote that shit were not trying to tell you that the earth is 6,000 years old. People have only thought that for like 500 years. Like for the most of history of the Torah, of Judaism, of Christianity, people have understood that those were allegories for a much deeper concept. And if you take them literally, you actually miss that deeper context where it's like it's the most shallow way to look at the Bible is literally. Yeah. And that I have a lot of frustration with organized religion because it's like let's humor some of the truths in the text. What would the force of evil or the devil, whatever you want to call it, do if it saw religion as a threat? It would infiltrate it and corrupt it from the ground up.
Right.
So it's like you can't find God in a church anymore. Because it's like that's not you can find the devil there. You can find Joel Osteen there.
Right.
And it's like you can only find God in yourself, and you don't even need a book for that. It's just certain texts can help, and not only religious texts. My favorite book is The Alchemist. It's a fiction by Paulo Coelho. It's like if the Bible's divinely inspired, that is too. And you know what else is? Alice's Adventures in Wonderland is a divinely inspired text. There's so many. I mean, people spend their lives studying Lewis Carroll's works the way people spend their lives studying religious texts. There's so many little things, and like, yeah, I think there's something going on with these mega texts that people put all this significance into. We can call it divinely inspired, or it's just an artist channeling something. There's a question in here. Well, where do you think art comes from?
Art.
Yeah, when you're making something, are you snatching that and pulling it down, or does that originate from your mind, or how do you look at it?
I think it's kind of the system. Like, you know, you pull something and you filter it through this, through your brain, you know, and then it's your way of understanding, like,
it's your voice.
Is this, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you're, I don't know, like, it could be your interpretation of something, it could be your attempt of figuring out what it is, you know, it could be your confusion of it, you know, it could be a lot of different angles of what's in front of you, like
how you're reacting with that.
Yeah.
Like, it's a focused action and like something that you're channeling through your being to create like filtered through
Yeah.
you.
That's the best answer I've gotten to that question. Is like it's both. It's a collaborative effort. It's
it's balance. That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
balance. Like
It's
I
balance.
can't hammer balance enough. Like
gotta bring balance to the
balance,
force.
balance.
Yeah.
Balance.
But yeah, I mean seriously though, and I feel like that's at least that's what it is for me. Like even if I'm like writing about something, or I don't really write as much like lyrically anymore. But when I was younger, I was trying to write like like fantasy lyrics and stuff like that, and things that kind of had like a premise of some kind of fake shit, and like, it didn't necessarily have to be about anything, but like, was it? You
One
know
of
what
my
I mean?
favorite
Like,
bands is Coheed Cambria, and it's
exactly. Yeah.
sometimes you got to step into the realm of fantasy to tell a true
Mhm.
story. And
Yeah.
like we were just talking about with religious texts, is like in order to capture the truth, they used an allegory, and there's a reason they did that. Is people respond better to a story than just telling them, "Hey, be kind to other people." It's like this way, I have to be kind to other people because if you don't, this happens and it's bad.
And like in passing on knowledge, like through words, like having that imagery to go along with it, and like things like that are easier for people to pass along in stories and traditions rather than like what you were just saying. If it were just basic, like be nice to each other.
Yeah. What is
that should be understood anyway, though, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
but you know.
What is the meaning of life? Melody.
I honestly lately have started to think that maybe there's not, and like that's kind of weird for me to say, honestly.
I don't think there's any wrong answers.
Well, no, it's just because I don't have a certain thought on it, but recently I've started feeling like I don't know that anything matters at all. Like I think everything might just be random, and then it just disappears and like turns into something else, and it just keeps doing that forever. And like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's almost maybe some like peace in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I kind of agree. Just so it's like from a place of like, it's the meaning of it, I guess, as far as like, all I know for certain is that there's me.
Yeah.
So, and I have a life. So, if there's going to be meaning up to it, then I guess I'm the one who's got to define that, right? So, like, I try to live it like
solipsism.
I don't know what it is.
Solipsism is where you think you're the only thing that does exist.
I don't think that.
Like
I don't think
only.
that.
Yeah, you're not saying
What's
that.
the what?
I think
Kyle here.
Descartes talks about. Yeah. I think therefore I am is so. Solipsism would be like that's the only thing that's true, but that's not really what you're saying.
That's
you're
all
saying
I know.
That
yeah.
True.
Yeah.
It's funny. I would challenge that too. I challenge Descartes. That I think therefore I am is like, what does that even mean?
See, I don't necessarily think about it like that. I guess I don't know. I don't really like study philosophy.
Yeah. I guess I don't either. Like I've never formally studied philosophy.
Our guitar player does.
Yeah, he would be able to say like
next time you guys come on,
like,
hey, next time you release a single, I'd love to have you guys back again.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Totally.
We don't. Yeah, I never get enough of this. This is good stuff. What was that? What were we just talking about?
How do you kind of oppose the Descartes?
Oh,
view?
Yeah.
Or how you challenge it?
I just I don't. Here's the thing. I'm not necessarily saying that's not correct. I'm just saying I don't know how that's a fact. It still seems
that's
like
the thing. I don't know what's facty.
Like, no, so I think what it is that like your perception, like you are aware of what exists from your own existence.
Yeah,
so you know that is true.
And I guess what I'm saying is Descartes doesn't even know that though, because what if that's an illusion?
No, I was saying that's what I thought that Nick was saying.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. Like what?
Like how he feels, not
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
What
like
Descartes.
Gotcha.
I trust existence enough to
Hmm.
feel like it's not an illusion.
And I don't. I agree with you, and I do too.
Yeah.
But I think it's the splitting hairs I'm doing is I'm saying that we're both men of faith. We have faith that that's true. We don't know that.
Oh,
So
absolutely,
Descartes,
absolutely.
I think therefore I am is an assumption. It's not a fact. It's an assumption we
Sure.
all operate under
Sure.
for our own sanity, right? It's
Right,
like, and I'm there
right.
with you. I'm
Yeah,
there
yeah,
with you.
yeah, exactly. Like I have basically I have no idea.
But you know what is an objective fact? Whether we're here or not, or whether anything exists or not, 1 + 1 = 2. That is true whether there's people to observe it,
Or
whether
not.
there's anything at all. 1 + 1 = 2.
What if math doesn't exist, bro?
If people never discovered math, 1 + 1 is still 2.
I mean, how do you know that?
Because
Those are
because
just
we have
words that
discovered
we put in order to explain something
Okay,
that
then-
already
bleep plus bleep equals blap. It's like, you know what I mean?
bleep plus boop.
This
equals-
stick and
you're-
this stick
well, to
is
break
2
it down,
sticks.
like,
Well,
any quantity.
if there is only one, what if if nothing is real and there's only one thing out there, then 1 + 1 there is no.
Well, there's still
no
an
more than
idea.
one. How so? If there's no multiple.
If there's nothing at all, hypothetically, if there were, there'd be multiple
I needed
versus
to check-
singular.
I was gonna check
If there
on
was one
something,
thing,
but
there'd be
it's
one
not
thing. If there were two things, there'd be
loading.
two
Oh, wait.
things.
But what if?
That'd be true whether there were people to observe it
But
or
what if
not.
multiples don't exist at all? What if?
Okay, then there's just one.
So 1 + 1 doesn't.
No, if you
Because there's
had
no such
two,
thing as
if
two.
you had two, there'd be two. this is what I live for, man. We're in it now. Like, no, that's 1 + 1. Yeah, okay. So if there's only one thing, there's only one thing.
Right.
But if you add another thing,
Right.
or you chop that thing in half, now there's two of it.
But if that doesn't happen,
but
then
if
you
that
can't-
doesn't happen,
But it happens.
Sure, then there's just one.
Did it happen?
But one what?
I don't know.
Just one.
I don't think.
if
I
we
mean,
aren't
if nothing
observing
is,
it happen, then do we even know it happened?
But that one
Right.
thing is made up of many
Did
particles.
it even
right?
happen?
So
Of
Philip, are
multiple.
you saying that like all of us and everything that exists is all just components of one?
And I can understand that, but still, there's multiple components, right? So there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, because it's like one thing with 1 component, 2 component, 3 component, 4 component. There's still multiple.
Yeah, but it's all are they components? I mean, they're all just words to describe a part of one thing.
Yeah, no, I don't really have a problem with that. Maybe I'm the one splitting hairs. It's like at that point, sure, it is one thing,
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
but like,
That's like
Yeah.
the
but
that's
there
like
would be
asking
multiple
how many
components.
triangles are there in the photo where it's like a triangle here, but also it makes a triangle with the same corner and like you know what I mean?
It's like the whole thing is a triangle, but there's triangles within
Yeah.
it too.
And
Yeah.
that's a triangle.
That's a good analogy. Yeah.
Yeah, so that question should be worded: how many triangles can you spot in this?
How many, how many triangles does it take to change a light bulb?
triangle.
Just one.
Okay.
Or does the light bulb
Because
change itself?
you fit it to the edges of the light bulb and then you just twist and then it comes off.
How many light bulbs does it take to change a person?
Ooh.
One.
Depends.
Yeah.
Depends on how.
Just
fickle
the
that person
existence.
is.
Yeah.
One.
Depends
How
if-
stubborn they are.
Yeah. If that person's got like no backbone.
Are they receptive to change, or are they just stuck in their ways?
Yeah, like
It's not. We shouldn't entirely put that on the light bulbs at all. That's on that
yeah,
person.
yeah. Like
But-
why are we
That's on the person.
Oh well, y'all.
You said the light bulb had to change in the first place.
Yeah, just leave. Yeah,
Yeah.
Leave the
Light
light
bulbs
bulb
do it.
alone.
We should
it's like
just
it's like
adapt to see
cracking
in the
in
dark.
It's like leave him be.
What on your damn cell?
Yeah. Speaking of light bulbs, there's a light bulb in a fire station that's been going continuously for like 100 years. Like hasn't gone out at all. They invented.
What is it powered by?
It's just a regular light bulb.
Dreams.
It's a special
Dreams-
kind of coil.
Dreams and faith.
Yeah, it's powered by goodwill, which it's diminishing right now. It's
What's up
actually
with this
blinking.
light bulb?
No, it's just a
What
regular light bulb.
existed there before the light bulb
So
in the building?
It's just it's a fire station. It's been a fire station there.
What was there
An
before
eternal
the fire
flame.
station?
Oh, I don't know. Like, you mean like burial grounds? I don't know.
Yeah,
like
an
maybe
Indian burial
there
ground.
was like some sort of ancient energy there that
No, what it is they invented light bulbs that don't go out, but then they just stop making them so they can continue to sell as light bulbs.
Oh,
It's called planned obsolescence.
yeah, I hate that. That's
So-
one of the biggest problems.
There's actually yeah, but they've made coils that just don't go out. But we won't get
What a
those.
shame. There are a lot of solutions to
I'm
problems that
sure
have not been allowed
There's some
to.
motherfuckers out there that figured out.
I'm sure, yeah, you
Make
probably
their
3D
own.
print a light
Oh,
bulb.
there's
that-
motherfuckers out here who have figured out how to make engines out of run off of water, but somehow
yeah,
they
I've
keep
seen
dying.
that.
Illegal though, right? You can't do that shit.
Yeah, they'll kill you for that.
Now you are trying to get us killed. Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows they're doing
Alice, if you build an engine that runs on water, just don't tell
anybody ever.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Just keep it to yourself. Put that in your Ford F-150 and run.
Oh.
Don't tell nobody.
Oh my god.
That's what I've learned. You don't tell anybody anything to do with anything.
The government once
Loose
they
lips
fix
sink
it.
ships.
Yeah. Well, y'all, this has been a really fun time.
Dude, yeah.
It has.
I'm
Thank you
glad
for
we
having
finally got
us.
Yeah.
to do this.
Next
We've been
time, I'll,
talking about it for
At
a
least
year.
Yeah, at least a year.
yeah, I'm glad
did
we're all busy people, and it's just good that we all were able to get time to do it. I would love to talk to you guys again anytime.
Yeah, we should be putting out this next song out soon. It's a big song, so like
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And how long? It's 8.
it's like
9
9 minutes. It's a 9 minutes.
Okay.
It's a banger.
Uh,
As in it like bangs your brain. Like,
ow, ow. That's what I look for in a Paranova track.
Yeah.
When you're
I mean,
listening to it, this like mechanical hand comes out of the speaker and comes out and just like punches
Boink.
you.
That
Like a
sounds
cartoon
awesome.
hammer.
Boink, 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 boink. Yeah, exactly. But no, we're really happy with
Grabs you, shakes you around, throws you across the room. No.
We're stoked. We're super stoked with how these songs are starting to turn out, and the process has been great. We've been working with Jesse Brock from
Okay.
Lines in the Sky, which
Oh,
is
yeah,
our
hell yeah.
producer. Yeah, he's been producing it, and Chris Baldani's been our mixing engineer,
Nice.
and yeah,
They've
it's
been wonderful to work with.
Yeah.
Very easy to work with. And they made everything sound beautiful. So it's
Yeah.
been nice.
our
Right
friend,
on.
our friend Ray did the mastering, and it's so crisp and clean. and,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So we're gonna see some stuff really soon. Then.
I mean,
not.
Yeah, I'm talking about for
I'm
the
sorry.
single. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Relatively. I mean,
It's still in
Normally,
productions. I'm sorry.
By
Yeah.
the end of the year for sure.
Yeah, by the end of the year.
Oh, right on. That is soon.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Soon enough.
It
yeah.
might be a Christmas gift. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
This might be going up around that time. So cool.
Okay, so maybe there might be so if you're watching this when this comes out,
It's either coming out soon or it's just
Well,
guys,
it's
Hold
a-
us accountable
yeah,
for
Yeah.
this.
guys,
as
we dropped the
well.
ball. We never got around to it.
Oh yeah.
We'll
Sorry.
just push
Yeah,
the release of this
yeah.
episode until you guys get ready to release it.
Yeah, we're just
We're
Alice,
sorry we did not release the single by Christmas, but it'll be here by
Valentine's
Christmas
Yeah.
2023.
Oh,
for
wow. I was
sure.
gonna say Valentine's Day. All right, I'll take the time.
That way we definitely are
before the alien invasion.
meeting that goal.
Yeah, maybe we get Kyle in here. Maybe we can figure out
Yeah.
a way to play shows or something together or something.
Yeah, man.
Like we can come up with a plan or something because we need one. Damn it.
Alice, check out Paranova. Noise is streaming now, and yeah, new songs coming out very soon. This will be out before that comes out for sure. So
Yeah.
yeah, have a good night. We'll see you next week.
Bye, Alice.
Bye.